Hey guys, now today's event is going to be a little bit more subdued because of the Sendai earthquake and subsequent tsunami and possible nuclear event. As we know, there was an earthquake in Sendai, Japan. I think it was a magnitude 7. And it has caused a lot of structural damage, and also as a result it caused a tsunami to sweep over the eastern coast of Japan, with tsunami warnings also around the rest of the Pacific Rim. It also caused structural damage to the Fukushima power nuclear plant, with 3 of the 4 reactors going critical. Thankfully the 4th one was actually out of order at the time and was thus shut down prior to the earthquake occurring. But 3 of the reactors did go into a critical state. 2 have collapsed, but not due to a nuclear event, thankfully. The 3rd one they're still keeping an eye on. Now, as a result of the Sendai earthquake occurring, I decided to actually have a bit of a look at the number of natural disasters that have actually occurred in the past 2.5 months. What I actually found is kind of a little bit shocking. Alright? In the past 10-11 weeks, the world has actually experienced about 18 natural disaster events. Granted, the first 5 of those kind of lapsed on from last year, but all of those have had a major effect on the world in this year. Okay? Now, I'm actually going to go through each of those, and I'll try and keep them as much in chronological order as I can. I make no guarantees though. There was the bushfires in Western Australia. There was, and this was between September 2010 and February this year. There was also the China drought during that same time. There were the floods in the Philippines, South Africa and Queensland between December 2010 and January 2011. There were also the Rio de Janeiro mudslides in January 2011. Severe tropical cyclone Vanya, which affected Vanuatu in January, and also Wilma, which affected Fiji and New Zealand, also in January 2011. The floods in Victoria, which occurred between the 12th and the 14th of January. And then there was the earthquake in Pakistan on the 18th of January. Then there was the winter storm, which went up along the east coast of the USA and Canada between January 31st and February 2nd. Severe tropical cyclone Yasi, which affected most of the upper half of Australia during February 2011. There were also the Gippsland fires during that time as well. And on the 22nd of February 2011 was the earthquake in Littleton and Christchurch. Then in the Balochistan region in Pakistan, there were major floods there between February and March this year. There was also the Bandra fire in India on the 4th of March 2011. And then there's the two major earthquakes in the past week. First one in Yunnan region in China on the 10th, followed by Sendai on the 11th. Now, as we know, that is a lot of natural events in such a short amount of time. Unfortunately, there's also going to be a lot of people out there who will interpret these events in very negative lights. Like they'll say that 2012 is occurring, or that these disasters are divine punishment, or things like that. I'm going to say this now. Alright, we've learned this from Bali, we've learned this from the Indonesia tsunamis. We've learned this from everything that's happened before. Alright? These type of things, to say that type of stuff is extremely poor humour, and it's just complete and utter disrespect. Alright? These events are naturally occurring ones. Alright? You can't predict them happening at any time. To turn around and use them as evidence to support your cause or your beliefs, you're basically disrespecting the people out there who are actually in that area suffering. Alright? Because they've lost their personal possessions, and more importantly, they've lost loved ones. Alright? If you seriously believe that what's happening is divine punishment or Armageddon in physical form, then please keep it to yourself. We're sick of hearing it. I won't be doing any of the usual segments today because of what's happened. I feel that it's going to be I feel that it's going to be disrespectful, because this is a major thing we need to focus on. Alright? But I am going to insist on one thing. Right? In just about every country there are charities and services that are helping people out in these areas. And if you want to donate to any of the causes that are helping out with any and all of these events that I've talked about, then please feel free to. Alright? A lot of countries are setting up their own AIDS programs as well, like I know Australia is. I think New Zealand has as well, and I wouldn't be surprised if Japan sets up something for the Sendai earthquake. I strongly suggest that you go online, find out about these, and if you can, donate to them, or find someone who can actually pass on your donations to those relief funds. So, until next week, guys, take care wherever you are. I'm Leeway Previs, this is Vent, and hopefully I shall see you all in a much more positive mood next week.